As some of you can see, the sun has now risen. So you can tell we went from being very dark to it being daylight. So that should tell you the times of day that Phenux wants to do these interviews. So carrying on, I apologize for that. What feds have you actually wrestled for?
Which feds have I wrestled for? I believe I answered this one before. I wrestled for WAW, Wisconsin All-Star Wrestling. Then REWF, Real Extreme Wrestling Federation. Um, Eventually, I went over to MCW afterwards, Midwest Championship Wrestling, and now I'm over at SWE, Supreme Wrestling Entertainment, um, which I believe is ran by Chris Hansen. That's right.
Obviously, you're a very talented wrestler. You have some great moves and everything. What we're wondering is, have you held any titles at the feds that you have worked?
What titles have I held? Let's see here. My first title was in REWF as the Extreme Champion, Extreme Hardcore Champion. After that, I did a tag team with my old partner, the Red Scorpion. Um, we were known as the Shogun Ninjas at the time. We won a tag team belts over there, and that's about it. Went to MCW afterwards, and under Carnage, I was the first lightweight champion for that federation. I held the title for a long time before I was beat by TC actually, which he still cheated in that one. Just want to put that out there. Other than that, I haven't held any more titles since then, but I do plan on winning the heavyweight SWE championship.
What is your greatest accomplishment?
The greatest accomplishment to date? Ooh, I don't really have one, honestly. I plan to accomplish more, honestly. When I did first get into this, was more or less to keep myself in shape, because off of outside the ring, I am a security guard, armed licensed officer, and I do a lot of physical work. So I was using this more like to keep myself training, as far as strength, speed, whatnot. Um, as of the last 10 years or so, I've actually gotten into it where I would like to accomplish more. I'm talking TNA, WWE. I would like to see myself on a big screen, honestly. Um, I would regret to wrestle John Cena or Undertaker or something like that, but it would be fun. I would love to actually endure doing that.
Obviously, working for different feds, you face some different people. Out of the matches that you have wrestled so far, who has been your favorite opponent?
Who has been my favorite opponent? That was kind of hard because I actually have two. Only, only because one has more knowledge, and the other one is because I wrestled so many times. I'm so used to them. My favorite that, as far as knowledge wise, would be TC Washington. I have a lot of fun wrestling with him. We work well together. He walks me through a lot of stuff that I did not know at the time, but I've because of him grooming me, I became a lot better worker. Um, the one I actually like wrestling a lot because I've done it so many times would be Al, also known as King of Canada, Sebastian LeBeau. Great guy, fun to work with. Um, hits hard, but but I mean, hell, That's why I expect out of a good wrestler, especially a friend of mine.
What does the future hold for the Brooklyn Assassin Phenux?
What does the future hold for Phoenix? I don't know. Maybe I travel a little bit more in the near future. Maybe stop in BCW. Maybe go see how Armani doing. Wrestle for him a little bit. Um, other than that, shoot, I'm trying my best to make it to either Tough Enough or straight into TNA or straight into WWE somehow.
So we've heard about feds you've wrestled for, we've heard about titles that you've held. What people want to know is, what made you become a wrestler?
What made me become a wrestler? Again, it was more or less at the time physical, trying to keep in shape. I was always a wrestling fan, a very big wrestling fan, so it wasn't like I was actually scared to wrestle or anything. Uh, I started off as a martial artist at 7 years old up to about 21-ish, and that's where I actually phased into more of wrestling. Um, I did the tournament fighting and everything for a while. It was fun, but it took a it took a lot out of me, honestly. I actually gotten injured more tournament fighting than wrestling, and actually that's actually a scary thought now I think about it. Especially that ladder match I was in, I would thought I would have been injured more, a hell of a lot more. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I just pretty much got into it to get myself in shape.
So what inspires you in your wrestling career? Or who inspires you?
Who professionally inspires me would be two wrestlers. I grew up watching Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Um, that's actually where I got my spitting the flames out my mouth gimmick from. Watching him doing it when I was younger, it, it, it was like amazing, you know. It was like, wow, this guy breathes fire. Um, and also Ultimo Dragon. Um, honestly, world renowned. I mean, I've never seen a wrestler better than him at all, you know. I mean, you name a wrestler that carries 10 different belts at one time. That's a good enough reason right there.
How has wrestling affected your life?
How has wrestling affected my life? If you want to go with personally, personally I can only name one way. Within the 5 years that I was in MCW, I met a special someone in my life. Um, you may know her as Nikki Brister on Facebook. Um, I know her as Raven as my trainer, my manager, uh, man, my everything, honestly. My future wife, my fiance. She's a hard ass on me. She's actually made me even better than what I was. As Nick Phoenix, I was a great guy. I was a great wrestler. I was pretty decent. As Phoenix, she's pushed me to levels that I didn't think I could reach. And as a person, as Nick Crenshaw, she has made me a better person than what I am. And also the mother of my beautiful child, Jordan Aaron Crenshaw. Also, I would like to note that his middle name came from a great person, Aaron Christopher Thomas, rest in peace. He was a great friend of both of ours. So that would probably be the biggest accomplishment, is that I met my future wife.
As you know, Robert is probably one of your biggest fans next to your family. So what do your fans mean to you in your wrestling career?
What does the fans mean to me? Um, Honestly, for a long, long time, as Nick Phoenix, I never really noticed I had any fans for that character. I just kind of more or less, I zoned out. When my music hit, I came out to the ring, I acted the fool, got wild, and got into the ring and did my duty. Even as Carnage, Carnage was a much darker character. I kind of went into like a deep, dark state where I really didn't pay attention to my surroundings. Um, but from my friends, my family, and the people that I worked with in MCW and REWF or any of the feds I've worked in, told me that as Carnage, I had a lot of the kids. If you look into any old footage, they was calling me Shredder. So a lot of fans loved the whole gimmick idea of the ninja. They loved me carried around swords and stuff. As Nick Phoenix, I had a babyface quality where a lot of women really liked my character. Man, I can't even tell you how many times I've signed an autograph on a T-shirt, a bra, skin. Hopefully my fiance won't kill none of them this anytime in the future. Um, I'm not sure if it's the whole energy that I present or I actually am kind of cute or whatever, but because of that, I carry a very big fan base with the females and and children alike these days now. Especially as Phoenix, I seem to have captured both now because of the Ninja and Nick Phoenix put together. I seem to have gotten both fan bases to come together. So the fans to me really means a lot to me, honestly. Now that I really taking time to really look at it, they make me. I mean, they make me a much better wrestler, you know, and a much better person. I've actually humbled myself a lot over the years. I really thought it was a high priority back in WAW days, and actually they humbled me and made me feel, you know, that I could be much better, you know.